The ballroom glowed under golden chandeliers, a sea of silk dresses and clinking champagne glasses. It was the kind of wedding where every detail screamed money marble floors, VY ominous we VYing soft melodies, guests with smiles too perfect to be real. But then she stormed in, heels like daggers on stone, her voice cutting through the polite hum. She screamed to my little brother, her silver stilettos flashing as she drove one into his chest. His wheelchair flipped, his body slammed into a table, and she stood there, daring anyone to move. I didn't yell. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed a steel chair, swung it with everything I had, and sent her crashing to the floor in front of 200 stunned guests. What happened next? Nobody saw it coming. They'd hinted we shouldn't come. Not directly, people like them never are. It was in the sideways glances, the murmured concerns about too much noise or too many lights for him. By him, them and my brother, Tommy, 13 years old, tethered to a wheelchair since a brain injury at birth stole his legs. But Tommy's smile could light up a storm. When he heard about the wedding, his eyes sparkled like he hadn't been broken by the world yet. The bride, Emily, used to be his physical therapist. She'd taught him to grip a pencil, to hold a daisy without crushing it, never once wincing at his tremors or garbled words. She and VY taught us herself, not out of pity, but love. So I pushed Tommy into that ballroom, past the glares of women in peach gowns and men with Rolexes, ignoring their whispers. I knew they're kind people who judged you by your suit, your speech, your ability to stand. To them, we were intruders at a palace feast. I'd ironed Tommy's white shirt the night before, slicked his hair, tucked a flower for Emily into a velvet-lined box. He held it like it was his heart, hands shaking but eyes steady. "Do I look okay?" he asked, voice soft. I knelt, fixed his collar, and grinned. "You look like you're stealing the show." His smile was the kind you carry in your chest forever. I didn't know it'd be the last one for a while. The ballroom doors swung open, chandeliers glinting like stars. The air smelled of roses and wealth. Tommy's wheelchair squeaked faintly, and I felt eyes slicing into us like we'd spilled ink on their canvas. Emily spotted us, her face lighting up from across the hall. Tommy waved, clutching his box. Then she appeared, Lydia Harper, a name that hit like a slap. Her silver gown shimmered, her blonde hair a flawless crown, her lips curled in a sneer meant for people like us. She strutted past the champagne tower, scanning the room like a wolf among lambs. When her eyes landed on Tommy, her face twisted. "What's that doing here?" she hissed to a man nearby. He shrank, but said nothing. Lydia moved closer, too close. I stiffened but held my tongue. Tommy kept smiling, oblivious us to the venom brewing. She leaned down, her voice low and cruel. "You think this is a place for charity cases?" My fist clenched. "He's here for Emily," I said, voice steady. Lydia's laugh was sharp, like broken glass. "This is a wedding, not a daycare." She turned, her gown swishing, but not before nudging Tommy's chair hard. His box slipped. He caught it barely. My blood boiled. I knelt, steadying the box in his hands. "You're okay," I growled. "You're tougher than her." He nodded, but Lydia wasn't done. From across the room, she sneered, "Keep your pet on a leash, or I'll have him thrown out." The room went quiet. Nobody spoke. I swallowed rage like fire. Not yet, I thought, but it's coming. The MC called for the bride's token, a moment meant for Tommy to give Emily the flower they'd practiced folding together. He rolled forward, me at his side. Each will turn heavy with eyes on us. Then Lydia stepped in front, deliberate, her smile ablade. "Sorry, kid. We don't let strays steal the show." Tommy blinked, confused. Before I could react, she raised her heel and slammed it into his chest. The crack echoed. He fell, his chair tipping, his head striking a table's edge. Blood bloomed on his forehead. Time stopped. Guests gasped. The VY Allings died. Lydia stood tall, brushing her shoulder. "Teach it not to ruin my dress," she said. Tommy groaned, twitching on the floor. I dropped beside him, hands shaking, VY shown red. Lydia turned to leave, but she wasn't done. She grabbed his wheelchair, show VYing it until it crashed into a table, wheels spinning. "This junk doesn't belong here," she spat. Nobody moved. Nobody helped. I stood, pulse roaring. I didn't shout. I didn't warn. I grabbed a white steel chair, heavy as my anger, and swung it in her back. The crack rang like thunder. Lydia screamed, collapsing, her dress tearing. She flailed, shrieking, "What are you doing?" I didn't answer. I raised the chair again, slamming it into her shoulder. She crumpled, heels scraping, mascara running. I dropped the chair with a clang. "Call him a liability again," I said, leaning close, "and you'll eat through a straw." Her words choked into a gargle. I dragged Tommy's chair back, lifted him gently, and set him in it. "Nobody touches you again," I whispered. Someone clapped slow, then louder, then more. It wasn't a roar, but a quiet tide. Lydia lay in a mess of glitter and frosting, her gown ruined, her pride gone. Nobody helped her up. Security arrived, sluggish, like they didn't want to break the spell. "Ma'am, are you hurt?" one asked Lydia. "I was attacked," she hissed, face streaked. "Arrest him." The guard glanced at me, then Tommy, then her. "We have footage. Stay seated." The words hit her harder than the chair. By midnight, the video was online. By morning, it was everywhere. HOA tyrant Lydia gets taken down. People shared it with captions like "This is family" and "Justice served raw." A disability group messaged me, "This is the moment we've waited for." But Lydia fought back. She posted a teary video, neck brace and all, claiming she supported the disabled but feared for her life. It backfired. A former student, Sarah, stitched a response, scar on her lip vy Sybil. "She slapped me for stuttering in class," she said. Comments flooded in neighbors, tenants. Even a cashier Lydia had berated. Her empire of fear unraveled. 2 days later, Lydia held a press conference in the HOA hall, neck brace tight, sunglasses hiding her eyes. "I was assaulted," she quavered, "by a thug who disrespects decency." A reporter cut in. "Did you kick the boy?" Lydia froze. "I protected myself from a hazard. He's 13, in a wheelchair." The room tensed. "I was provoked," she snapped, slamming the table. Sarah walked in, calm. She called me a defect in front of my class. Lydia paled. The HOA chair spoke. "Emergency meeting tonight." Lydia shrieked. "I run this HOA." He stared. "Not anymore." That night, the hall was packed. Residents filled plastic chairs, cameras flashing. Witnesses spoke a caterer, a bridesmaid, the hotel manager. "She stomped on him like he was nothing," one said. Lydia scoffed. "He ruined my dress." Gasps rippled. Sarah stood. "You call me a mistake. That's not a rumor. It's a scar." I stood, voice low. "You're not the VY Tim, Lydia. You're just outnumbered." The chair called Tommy. He rolled in, bandage on his head, eyes steady. He raised a hand, nodded once. The room stood, a wave of unity. Lydia stayed seated, trembling. "You're stripped of HOA authority," the chair said. She fled, muttering, the doors closing like a coffin. The fallout was swift. Lydia lost everything: HOA power, community access, respect. A treasurer exposed her scams, misused funds, biased fines targeting people like us. A lawsuit followed, but the real change was quieter. Neighbors waved. A woman who'd once ignored us gave Tommy his sketchbook. He drew for hours, smiling again. Lydia was spotted once, outside a store, cane in hand, ignored by passersby. Her cereal box fell. Nobody helped. I saw her again at a gas station, sitting on a curb, her bag torn, crackers in a puddle. She looked hollow, not angry, just empty. I could have walked away. Instead, I picked up the box, set it beside her, and left. No words, just an end. That night, Tommy asked, "Was it bad?" I shook my head. "It's over." In our garage, the chair I'd used sat, painted white by Tommy clean, a symbol of protection. He'd sketched it, not raised, but still. "You didn't do it to hurt her," he said. "You did it to protect me." My breath caught. He was right. This wasn't about a chair or a wedding. It was about a line between cruelty and courage, silence and standing up. Lydia crossed it, and I answered. Justice wasn't just the chair. It was the sketchbook, the neighbor's waves, Tommy's smile. It was a room shifting, refusing to let cruelty win. So what do you think? Was I right to swing that chair, Or did I go too far? Would you have stayed quiet or fought back? Drop a comment type, I'd fight, if you'd do the same, or too far if you wouldn't. Share a story of when you stood up for someone. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Let's keep telling stories that matter.